What a day, what a day.
Hello and welcome to round 4 of the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship, coming to you from the Suzuka circuit in Japan. It's been a wonderful, wonderful day, as you can see by the picturesque skies. Fantastic weather for racing here today. Round 4 of this fantastically brilliant championship that has produced so much so far. I'm Jack Mace, I'll be your commentator for this evening. We have 2 races lined up for you tonight. We have the 25-minute race 1 and a second 25-minute race 2. Qualifying is underway here. We're just going to have a little quick look through the standings real quick before joining the action on circuit. As you can see, after round 3, Lewis Rose is leading the way by 28 points to his brother Aaron. If he manages to be leading by 51 or more points at the end of this evening, we have 2 races following the Formula 1 points format. If he manages to be leading by 51 or more, he will wrap up the championship tonight. However, Aaron will be doing everything he can to make sure that he doesn't let his brother get away from him. Chris van der Nessa is also in with an outside chance of catching the 2 Roses up ahead. He's not too far back on 62 points. And then we have the rest of the field: Kevin Copeland, Sebastian Hagegi, Adam Shepherd, Aaron Powell, Joseph Saul, Bob Humphrey and Shane Piggott, all racing this evening. I'm very pleased to report. Right then, I hope everyone's been doing well over the past week. Kept themselves nice and busy. It's been a little bit of a break from the running here, but never fear. We're out here today. The times on your screen up in the top left are from the open practice session that completed about 5 minutes ago. We've got another 16 minutes of qualifying here before we go out on circuit for race 1 of round 4 here at Suzuka, not Tsukuba as the title card said. My apologies for that little oversight. We've got everything else updated though, so not to worry on that front. Track temperature, relatively warm out there today, 24 degrees Celsius. We've got a very, very strong field here this evening. As always, it's been a fantastic amount of racing quality here in the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship. Looking to stay on that trend this evening. We currently have 15 runners, but all of the top 10 are still here, and a lot of them are in with a very good shout of getting some great finishes today. So you won't see times reaching the same as they were in practice, but Lewis Rose sets the pace with a 2:11.1. Obviously we are using the full Grand Prix layout here. Massive contrast to the previous Japanese circuit at Tsukuba. The laps here will be a lot longer. We can expect 12 to 13 lap races. A very, very technical course is Suzuka. We are currently watching Adam Shepherd. We'll go on board with him as he comes out of the S's. A lap on board the ME7 livery car. As always, we are in the BMW M4 GT4 car as he comes through the second Egna underneath the bridge. One of the most unique circuits in the world is Suzuka, well renowned for its figure 8 layout. The slowest part of the circuit here, he's down to second gear, getting quickly on the throttle as he comes out. Car gets a little bit loose, a little bit light along here as they make their way towards the spoon curve. Suzuka really, really rewards the brave. Adam Shepherd keeping it very much online. Very good on the exit. The longest period of full throttle now as they come towards 130R. Do have to brake in these BMW M4s before the final right chicane, heavy braking zone, down to second gear again. A short little spurt towards the line, he's lost the rear there, it's going to cost him a little bit of time. Shouldn't cost him a massive amount though, comes across the line. It was a 2:11.6, but there was an off track, which meant that unfortunately that lap doesn't count towards the timing sheets. That's off track there as well, what a shame. But you can see how tight technical the circuit is. There's still a few overtaking opportunities, especially in these GT4 spec cars. The aero is rather light, so it allows close racing. Aaron Powell is currently setting the times at the top of the board. Doing his best Valtteri Bottas impression, running off the track after going quickest. I can't imagine he'll be doing too much of that in the race though. The only man in the 2-minute 10s so far. Only just, but still counts. Lewis Rose, 0.2 back. Aaron Rose, virtually identical times. 100th of a second between the two Rose brothers. Chris van der Nesse, half a second back from the leader at the moment. He's been putting in some decent times in practice as well. James Salt, not a name I am overly familiar with. A 2:11.7, and Sebastian Hagegi is the final man at the moment within a second of the leader's pace, but there's still just under 12 minutes left of this session. Everyone, plenty of time to get a good outlap, warm up their tyres, get out on circuit, get a good lap in, get themselves up the timesheets. Bob Humphrey, the Evo SR car, followed by Sebastian Hagegi, the orange Kumoa BMW. Liveries that over the past month now I've become incredibly familiar with. It's nice to see that Aaron Powell is now in the properly liveried Evo SR car. Got quite a few Evo SR cars out here tonight. We've got Bob Humphrey. Ooh, that's a big off there for Hagegi. His car doesn't look too badly damaged actually, but he will return to the pit lane, get that fixed. James Salt here as well, in a third Evo SR liveried BMW. That's not going to get confusing at all for me tonight. So Salt is in the number 2, Powell in the 7. That's Joseph Saul in the B team car. It's the wrong way round, but he's got himself back onto the pit lane. Yeah, Salt in the number 2 Evo SR car. Aaron Powell is in the number 7. Kevin Copeland is in the 068. And Bob Humphrey in the 36. Make that 4 Evo SR cars here this evening. On top of that, we still have the B team of Joseph Saul and Trevor Humphrey. I'm not sure the C team car is here this evening, however. I'm sure if he is around, he'll pop up on track. Wide, coming out of the S's. It's a very tricky uphill left. Very easy to lose a lot of speed there. It's only on an outlap though, so it's not a major disaster by any stretch of the imagination. This is Aaron Powell behind Adam Shepherd. Adam Shepherd still hasn't set a representative lap time yet. He can do a 2:11. We were on board with him earlier when he did one. And he's done another 2:11, but again, it hasn't counted. He needs to get a proper lap in as soon as possible. It's James Salt coming across the line. He's currently in P5. Tom Bingham P8 at the moment in the Performance Link BMW. The only one here this evening. Oliver Sy isn't racing tonight, unfortunately. He's getting ready for real life racing at Snetterton this weekend. Obviously, I wish him the best of luck. It's also good to see Bob Humphrey back. He missed the last round with illness. So it's very good to see him back in the 36. Hosting practice sessions like the absolute legend he is for this series. On Monday, I believe it was. Tom Bingham following closely behind James Salt, maybe trying to get a bit of draft, but draft doesn't really work on the grass, unfortunately. By the way, Adam Shepherd has now set a representative time, a 2:11.8. He's got one in the bag. Puts in P6 at the moment. Don't forget, of course, race 2 is a reverse grid race from the results of race 1. Penalties from the last round meant that Adam Shepherd's points were revoked as a result of a disqualification for his part in an incident with David Buki. David Buki is to be relegated to the back of the race 2 grid if he does appear this evening. He hasn't entered the lobby yet. He's still got 6 minutes. If he is here this evening, he will be at the back of the grid for race 2. Everyone else as normal. The organisers of the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship have implemented some new race control and race review procedures, which means that, fingers crossed, there will be some very quick and open resolutions to any incidents that happen on the circuit. But that is for the racing, and that gets underway. We're currently still in qualifying with just over 6 minutes remaining. This is a couple of cars here at opposite ends of the grid at the moment. Aaron Powell in the number 7 Evo SR car, currently provisional pole position. Joseph Saul just behind him in the B team Evo SR car. P13, this is Tom Bingham, right in the middle of them. Right in the middle of them between first and 13. Watching along this evening, do feel free to say hello. I know I haven't been doing it too much during the series, but I do have the live chat here with me. So any comments, anything you have to say, your views on the action can be shared. I remembered I have a phone, so I can get that up whilst this is all going on in the background. I say the background. Very much the foreground. Here is the Motorsport Maker M4 of Tim Darricott we're currently watching, the number 84, ever present so far during the series. Just outside the top 10 standings at the moment, I believe. Been desperately unlucky in a few of the races. He crashed out race 1 at Tsukuba last week. From a high position as well, ran wide at the final corner, hit the wall. It's very unfortunate. He's currently got decent pace here. He's just under 1.3 seconds off the provisional pole time. Do the second Degner curve. Oh, he's hit the wall quite badly there. It's a very, very difficult section, those curves. Very difficult section. This is James Salt in the number 2 Evo SR car. Another ever present here, Hamish Hagegi, the number 13 BMW this evening. Just ahead of the number 17 of Adam Shepherd. He's got himself up to P5 now with a 2:11.4. Gradually improving those lap times Aaron Powell still the only man in the 2-minute 10s, but the track temperature has increased. Alex Bingham says hello from the Performance Link team. Alex Bingham, the brother of Tom Bingham, who's racing, of course, in the Performance Link sponsored BMW. It makes sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense. Hello to the Performance Link team from the commentator of the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship. Lewis Rose has got himself up into provisional pole, 2:10.9, fighting the increased track temperature to get himself just ahead, 0.06 of a second ahead of Aaron Powell. I've got my eyes solely on timing sheets at the moment. Shane Piggott is about to come across the line. Will he improve his time? Not on this occasion. Just paying attention there to my track map and realised it was just a little bit out of sync. Just a little bit. Only a couple of corners. We'll use good old spreadsheets instead. 1.5 minutes to go. Aaron Rose and James Salt here on your screen now. Will be coming across the line to start their final lap of this session. Running 3rd and 6th respectively at the moment. We're looking to improve their times, get themselves a little bit further up the grid. Aaron Rose did a 2:11.3 that time. James Salt has got a very, very fast driver to pick some toe up off of. That was a lot more difficult to say than I anticipated, but we got there. The S's. Suzuka does have a phenomenal flow to it. For such a technical track, especially, some really good flow. A real driver's circuit, this one. An incredibly popular one and entirely understandable as to why. Oh, Aaron Rose has run wide there. He won't be able to finish this lap. Hope he doesn't do that during the race. We'll go to James Salt. See how he's faring. Watch him for this lap. He is on a pretty good one at the moment, I'd say. Checkered flag is now flying. There'll be a few cars coming across the line in the past 30 seconds or so to start their final qualifying lap. We'll be seeing cars now filter back into the garage. Bob Humphries improved to a 2:12.654 to get himself up to 10th place. The top 10 places, of course, do pay points in the race. But it is a full reverse grid for race 2, so those that haven't had a particularly good qualifying in this race have plenty of chance to redeem themselves in the race, and should absolute disasters happen, have another chance to redeem themselves in race 2. James Salt, very loose coming out of 130R. Early on the brakes into the chicane. That might be an abandoned lap. Very much is. Chris van der Nessa through Spoon. The Spoon curve. We haven't focused too much on the Send It Sim Racing driver. I was racing alongside him in some GT3s today. He's bloody quick, I tell you. A lot quicker than me, anyway. Oh, he's run wide coming out of 130R. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about the track limits, but judging by the fact he's still pushing, I'd say that's still legal. So he's going to be coming across the line now. see if he improves on 4th position. Unfortunately, he doesn't. It was a 2:11.8 that time. Adam Shepherd, where is he on the circuit? Running wide. That's a shame. Sorry, Adam. I think I cursed you there, buddy. We'll have a look for some other cars on circuit. Shane Pickett, last man running. Everyone else is in the pit lane. So this will be the final man to come across the line. Shane Pickett does a 2:12.7. It's an improvement, but it doesn't get him up the grid, unfortunately. He's now only 0.06 of a second behind Kevin Copeland. And if my calculations are correct, that is everyone done and dusted for the qualifying session. 50 seconds to go. There's not really going to be a whole lot else going on. Take a very quick look at the results, not the standings. The results, Lewis Rose is on pole position. Aaron Powell, the only other man to get inside the 2:10 mark. They will be making up the front row of this grid. It's Aaron Rose in P3 alongside Chris Van der Nessa in the Send It Sim Racing car. Adam Shepherd lines up in 5th alongside the second Evo SR car of James Salt. My apologies. Sebastian Hegegi is in 7th position alongside Tom Bingham. Tim Darricott on row 5 alongside Bob Humphrey. Kevin Copeland, Shane Pickett, Joseph Saul, Trevor Humphrey, and Hamish Hegegi make up the rest of the field. All of the field within 3 seconds of each other, which is wonderful to see. Can expect some close action here for the race. Speaking of which, everyone is now gridding up. We'll be looking to get a nice view from the number 81 Pertec car of Lewis Rose, the championship leader, on pole position once again. Important to note, he does have a 28-point lead over his brother Aaron. 46 points ahead of 3rd place man Chris Van der Nessa in the championship. Not 100% sure why the cameras didn't focus there, but we're here now. Watching Lewis Rose. Now, there is not a full lap warm-up. We begin just before 1:30R, so there is no time to warm up your tyres. We are going straight into the action. If you can warm up your tyres in the chicane, well, you're a much braver man than I. Lewis Rose is going to get us underway here. Race 1, round 4, Suzuka. Penultimate round of the Road to Motegi Championship. Aaron Powell, very eager, but Lewis Rose is the one who's going to be dictating the pace, and he bolts it coming out of the chicane. A massive lead as the pace car pulls in, and we are underway here. Race 1 of round 2, and Aaron Rose has got a phenomenal start. He is up. Oh, and he's hit. Oh no, the two Aarons, Powell and Rose, get into each other. Aaron Rose is off into the barrier already. Such a shame. We'll take a little look back here. He got a phenomenal start. And then Aaron Powell going around the outside. Rose, he's just drove into him. Has to be said, he's tried to cover it off. And unfortunately for him, he's put himself in the barrier. He's towed himself to pit lane. He needs to get a lap completed or he won't be eligible for the reverse grid race, unfortunately. So there he is in the pit lane. Awful start for Aaron Rose. We still have 14 runners out on track at the moment. Lewis Rose is your leader. Adam Shepherd has found his way up into 2nd position, starting from 5th. Sebastian Hegegi, who started 7th. That inside row had a phenomenal getaway. He's in 3rd. Aaron Powell down to 4th. And Chris Van der Nessa rounds out the current top 5. The standings at the top left of your screen will be updated as soon as lap 1 is completed. James Salt, Bob Humphrey, Tom Bingham, Tim Darricott, Kevin Copeland in the lower half of your top 10 right now. Aaron Rose is obviously getting his car repaired in the pit lane. He should be out on track though, ready for race 2. That of course has massive championship implications. Lewis Rose, if he does win this race, he takes a 53-point lead. But if Aaron Rose does get that lap in, he will very likely have a reverse grid pole and have a really good chance to close that gap up immediately. This, however, is Adam Shepherd. A lot of action coming out of 130R there. Sebastian Agegi's going around. Oh, he's T-boned! Lewis Rose! Completely accidental. He lost control of his car coming into the chicane and it's just absolutely T-boned Lewis Rose, who's still going. Who is still going in 3rd position. His car, oh, his suspension is ruined though. The car's crabbing. The car is crabbing. We'll go back and have a look at that incident real quick. I've gone a little bit fast, sorry. This is coming out of 130R. Have a quick get on board if we can with Lewis Rose, completely unsuspecting. No idea something's coming. And then there is Sebastian Agegi ploughing into him. It's not something you want to see. It really isn't. It's such a shame. That's a massive incident, and that again has massive championship implications. Lewis Rose he's driving a battered car. It's just crabbing. The suspension is completely off kilter, but he's going to persevere with it. He's down in 7th place at the moment. If he finds himself outside the points, if I was him, I would pit. Sebastian Agegi is obviously in the pit lane as well after his incident. He lost a wheel. He lost a front left wheel in that accident. It's really opened up at the top. Adam Shepherd is your man currently leading this race. We pan over to him with extreme speed. Aaron Powell back up into 2nd with Chris van der Nessa in 3rd. So the race for the lead still very close. 1.5 seconds separating the top 4. That is Adam Shepherd running wide. We'll see how the rest of this race unfolds. First lap. Ooh. I keep on going on a lot about the War of the Roses. I mean, looks like everyone's going after them today. My word. Into 130R. A horde of Evo SR cars there in the top 6. 3 of them up there. Powell, Salt, Humphrey. Kevin Copeland unfortunately having some incidents on lap 1. He is down in 13th, but he's not too far behind the leaders. Gap's around 16 seconds to 1st place, so still plenty of time. It is, however, Adam Shepherd who leads onto lap 3. We're looking at 12 laps for this first race. It'll be similar for race 2, I imagine. Hopefully, though, we won't get any accidental T-bones. Fingers crossed. Close fighting on track at the moment. It's Trevor Humphrey just a little bit behind Hamish Agegi, who is currently residing in 10th position, looking for his first points in the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship, I believe. I'll have to double check. I should have the standings up with me. Aaron Rose, by the way, back out on track now. He's making sure he gets that lap in. Don't know if he's watching the stream. If he is, glad you're back out there, mate. Unlucky with lap 1. It happens. It happens to the best of us. There's a mighty battle out for the lead at the moment. Look at that train behind Adam Shepherd. Let's see how it looks from behind his car. Well, that's a lot of cars in his rearview mirror. Very close to him. A lot of Evo SR branded cars there. Ascended Sim Racing of Chris van der Nessa there as well. Shepherd coming out of Spoon. The long straight now towards 130R. Aaron Powell is relatively close to him. come now towards 130R. Just see the speed of it. Runs a little bit wide. Oh no, he's gone round! He's gone round into the wall! Adam Shepherd has gone off! Adam Shepherd has gone off. He's now in the chicane. He's still going. He's kept the car going. Does he have any suspension damage though? He took a big impact into the wall. He ran wide coming out of 130R. There it is again. He was just a little bit wide. It wasn't too wide. A little bit wide coming out of 130R. Did really well not to make any contact there with Chris van der Nesse. He does now find himself behind. Understandable. He's going to have some element of damage to that car. Speaking of damaged cars, Lewis Rose is the fastest man on track right now. 211.1 in a car that isn't going in a straight line. It's not bad. Pretty impressive, has to be said. Aaron Powell, however, started second, now up to first. I mean, it sounds boring face value, doesn't it? But he was down in fifth earlier on. Joseph Saul, by the way, has found himself in the pit lane. That car looks a bit worse for wear. We'll see what happened to him. Oh, go back a little bit more. He's gone through 130R. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Joseph Saul, his car's seen better days. That's for absolute definite. Here's Aaron Powell coming through the hairpin. Oh, the trail of cars is just getting more and more. Lewis Rose has caught up to the back of this pack. I don't know how. I'll tell you what, I need to see a steering angle real quick. Just to make sure that... I'll tell you what, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was. We'll wait till he gets on the straight to have a look at that. Okay. It's a little bit of steering angle towards the right-hand side, but it's nothing too disastrous. Obviously, he's able to keep the car going. That's James Salt on the inside into 130R. That is a very, very dangerous place to try and overtake. He's run incredibly wide there. Adam Shepherd, 3 wide coming into the chicane. Lewis Rose really late on the brakes. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, it's fine. Sorry. False alarm, everyone. It's absolutely fine. Nothing bad happened. Lewis Rose up into 4th place after being absolutely speared off the track on lap 1. He's making a great recovery here. This is Bob Humphrey up into 5th place. Adam Shepherd, he's got a badly damaged car, judging by that front left. He's persevering though. He is in 6th place. Tom Bingham in the Performance Link BMW is not too far behind. One of the closer battles on track at the moment though, it was this battle here for 10th. There's battles all over the track. This is Lewis Rose about half a second behind James Salt. Number 2 Evo SR car being chased here by the Pertec liveried 81. The championship leader here in the Road to Motegi Championship. Oh, 2 wheels through the first Egner. Really aggressive here. Really good driving. Here they come. Slowest corner on the circuit. Incredibly tight hairpin. Exit is vital. It's, if you're brave, it's flat out now down towards the spoon curves. Aaron Powell is extending his lead slightly to Chris van der Nesse. Van der Nesse now maybe looking to secure his place in the championship. A good haul here would have him even with Aaron Rose. Aaron Rose is back in the pits, by the way. I don't want to break away from this action, but he is back in the pit lane, has been for 3 minutes. Joseph Saul back out on circuit. He is right behind Sebastian Hagegi in the battle for 13th position. Now lap 6. 6 of 12. James Salt right behind Chris van der Nessa. Ooh, he was teasing the inside of turn 1. Not a very common overtaking place. Maybe in other forms of motorsport, but these are very even cars. It's a lot more difficult to make a move there. This is Tom Bingham right behind Adam Shepherd, just in front. The motorsport maker BMW of Tim Darracott. I was about to say this is for low points, but this is for 6th place. That's not low points at all. Interestingly, Tim Darracott there with his 2:12.3 is on the same pace as the leaders, so very even pace across the board, has to be said. Darracott running a little bit wide there. But there's close battles all across the circuit. That's Adam Shepherd running wide. That's Adam Shepherd running wide. He's down to 9th place after that. We'll just have a look there to see what happened. Go back a little bit more. No point just looking at it when it just happened, is there? Coming through the first Egner. Hit the gravel. Yeah, destabilised the car. Just many ended up running wide, unfortunately. He's come out of the hairpin though. He's still in 9th place. He's still in the points. Still in the points. Will, however, go back forward to Tim Darracott, who's harassing Tom Bingham. Shane Piggott wants in on the action. This is the battle for 6th place. Coming out of Spoon on the run down towards 130R. Speaking of 130R, there's this battle still going on. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Incredibly tight here. Van der Nessa, Salt, Rose, 3 wide going into the chicane. They all hold position, but that was a great shot. Aaron Powell, he's not running away with it, it has to be said. Given the battling that's going on here, he is not running away with it at all. Just a couple of seconds up the road at the moment. By the way, Shane Piggott has found a way past Tim Darracott. May have been a mistake coming out of 130R. Dive bomb in the chicane. Whatever it is, they are running very close on track now through turns 1 and 2. As they come towards this magnificent S's section. It is more or less single file through here, but you have to just admire the car control that these drivers are showcasing here. Quick look back to Adam Shepherd. He's still going along in that damaged number 17. It's definitely some kind of mechanical damage to that car. That at the front still close. 3 cars here fighting for 2nd. Is Salt going to dive here? Not this time. 22 holding off the 2. It's an 81 behind. If only it was a 222. That would have been something. 22, the 2 fighting for place number 2 in race 1. Track temperature is increasing all the time, which means that the cars are just going to be slowed down here. 28 degrees now is the temperature, far higher than optimal. Come out Spoon Curve, Lewis Rose running a little bit wide, but slipstream is going to have a hell of an effect coming down to 130R. There comes single file. Will there be a chance into the chicane? Salt goes alongside, really late on the brakes. Oh, he's missed the turn in. He has missed the turn in there, and Lewis Rose has got himself up into 3rd place. He's profited off of that little mistake there from James Salt. And our championship leader is back in a podium position. That car does not look straight. It looks like it's crabbing, but my mind is playing tricks on me, I swear. Tim Darracott has made an off, by the way. Oh, he's missed the chicane. Oh, he's done a bit more than that. He's hit Shane Piggott, and he's missed the chicane. Piggott's gone back ahead, as we will see happen here. Down through very kindly. Then Kevin Copeland, Trevor Humphrey also filtered their way through, and they now continue their battle down towards the entry of the S's section. Aaron Rose still in the pit lane. Everyone else is still going. This is Adam Shepherd. He's down in 11th now. He's had an incident that lap, unfortunately. It was off camera, but he's now down in 11th position. Oh, Salt's had a problem. Salt's got a problem. Salt stopped on track. What's happened here? What on earth has happened here for James Salt? He's come through the first Degner. He's slammed on the brakes for the second. Oh, he's just run into the wall. He's just run into the wall there. And he's towed himself back to the pit lane. He's put himself out of contention there. Such a shame. Such a shame there for James Salt. Hamish Hagegi is coming to the pits as well. So everyone who is currently out on circuit, with the exceptions of Sebastian Hagegi and Joseph Salt, if you're out of the pits and you haven't pitted yet, you're in for some points. That's where we're at right now. My goodness. The scenarios just keep changing by the second here. This is Chris van der Nesse now, defending from Lewis Rose. Honestly stunned that James Salt has hit the wall like he did. And it must have damaged the car severely, because he was off the line immediately. Brought the car back to the pit lane. We can understand why. This is currently one of the closest battles on track, but we have a look back from Shane Piggott, and you see a nice little train here for places 6 through to 9. They're all still going. This is the battle for 8th place at the moment. Tim Darracott down the inside into turn 1. Good pass there, good pass. Trevor Humphrey gets a really good switchback. Really good racing here. This is, like I said, the battle for 8th position. As they come through the S's. Adam Shepherd, by the way, is going to be back into 10th position now on your screen. There we go, it's updated. Which means even after all of the incidents that he's had so far this race, he's back in the points. This, however, is the highest battle on circuit at the moment. The battle for second. Chris van der Nesse in the Send It Sim Racing car, holding off the Pertec of Lewis Rose, the championship leader, Lewis Rose. The destroyed, the reborn, the rebuilt Lewis Rose. The car's not rebuilt. He never pitted. Through the spoon curves, he's looking to get a decent exit. He's gone. No, that's a good line out of there. Van der Nesse, if anything, was a little bit narrow. Come up towards 130R. That's Bob Humphrey behind, by the way, in 4th. He started 10th. He's made a great rise through the field. Lewis Rose looking right, looking left. Hard on the brakes into the chicane. He's just looking for a way past, but the Flying Dutchman is not one to let anyone through with ease. The gap has opened up now for this man, the leader, Aaron Powell. He's the leading car. He's the leading Evo SR car. And he's got himself a comfortable 6-second lead as of right now. It's comfortable because this incredibly intense battle for second place is still raging on. We'll take a little look back here. That's not Aaron Powell, that's Kevin Copeland in another Evo SR car, battling with Shane Piggott for 6th position. One car that we haven't seen a huge amount of is this man, Tom Bingham, running a very calm, astute race. He's in 5th place at the moment. Bit of a cushion, bit of a cushion of air around him at the moment. There is, however, a very close battle there through the Degner curves. I saw the tiny screen flash up there. Some tense battling through the Degners. Van der Nessa a little bit wide, but he's got himself a good exit. We're going to stick with this one for a little bit. Get on board with Lewis Rose. Just to see how much he's pushing. He's really trying to push Chris Van der Nessa into a mistake. Oh, he's on the inside there, Spoon. See how close he is on the inside, because this is the view from behind Van der Nessa. There's no one behind him, there's just a car to his left on the inside of 130R. This should be job done by Lewis Rose. Indeed it is. That puts our championship leader back up into second position. Hard on the brakes again. Van der Nessa is not about to give this one up without a fight. Coming across the line, there will be 2 laps to go then. I don't think Aaron Powell is going to be able to draw it out to end on this lap. He's got an 8.5 second lead. And the battle for second, look at that! Defensive driving from Lewis Rose. Van der Nessa on the outside trying to make it work. He's not going to have the traction to make a move happen there. They now reform back to single file through the S's. Kevin Copeland is in a similar position to Van der Nessa through turn 1. Keeping really tight on the rear of Shane Piggott. These are the 2 hottest battles on circuit right now, absolutely. Go back to the Rose Van der Nessa battle. Through the Degnas. Van der Nessa running a bit wide, but he's kept it out of the wall. Bob Humphrey would have been keen to pick up any pieces, should there have been any to pick up. But Rose and Van der Nessa kept it incredibly clean. Close but clean. Another battle going on through the Degnas. Piggott and Copeland still fighting for 6th place. Late on the brakes. Tightest corner on the track, that hairpin. Immediately opens up to one of the most naturally flowing parts, the undulation, as you come to this downhill right, switches to uphill. And then the spoon curve, very long, very difficult to make something happen there. Just up ahead, Lewis Rose is opening up a small gap now. A small gap is definitely formed here back to Van der Nessa. Oh, Kevin Copeland's on the inside, the exit of 130R. He's got himself 6th place. Piggott's not giving it up that easily though. Piggott diving there. Massive dive bomb on the inside of the chicane. I'm not sure that was really going to work, and he's lost another place to Trevor Humphrey, who started his race in 14th position, finds himself now in 7th as he begins his final lap. Shame then for Shane Piggott, but he went for a dive bomb that, in all honesty, was never really going to come off. It means that the field is a little bit more spread out now on this final lap. The gap between Rose and Van der Nessa growing very slowly, but it is growing. It's up to 1.2 seconds through the Degna curves. Rose is pushing. I doubt he's going to catch our leader in the number 7, Aaron Powell. The clock has expired. This is the final lap. Aaron Powell coming through the spoon curves onto the back straight. That car ahead of him is the Evo SRB team car of Joseph Saul, who is in 13th position at the moment, not too far behind Hamish Agagi. But the lower 5 cars in this race have all made pit stops at one stage or another. And Aaron Powell comes through the chicane for the last time in race 1 to take a dominant victory here. Round 4, race 1, your winner is Aaron Powell in the number 7 car. Flashing his lights, very happy with that win. This is Lewis Rose coming across the line. He got speared off at the chicane at the end of lap 1. Recovered to 2nd place. Van der Nessa, not sure what that was about, but that happened. Bob Humphrey, P4. Tom Bingham in the Performance Link BMW finishes in P5. It's a short gap back to Kevin Copeland in the 3rd of the Evo SR cars. That's Trevor Humphrey in 7th, Shane Piggott there in 8th. Tim Darracott flying across the line with style in 9th. And then it's a bit of a gap back, but we will watch Adam Shepherd here. That is mangled. It's a mangled car. There's no other way of putting it. The thing's destroyed. He briefly led, but he will not come home without any points. He will get 1 point so long as Sebastian Hagegi doesn't make up a 30-second gap in 2 corners. And I think he's going to hold on to it. Adam Shepherd in the number 17. Just coasting across the line, bringing it home safely. This is something. He's stopped before the line. He's still there. He's still there. He's still there. And he's let Sebastian Hagegi come across the line for the final point. I think he's going for a reverse grid position to get as high as he can on that grid. I wouldn't have given up a point for that, I'll be honest. I wouldn't have given up a point for that. I don't think there's anything in the rulebooks against that. A very interesting strategy there from Adam Shepherd to put himself on the 2nd row of the grid for race 2. He's given up a point. He's given up a point for that one. Very interesting decision there, has to be said. We will have a quick look there at the results. Aaron Powell was, of course, your winner. 7.3 seconds was the gap back to Lewis Rose, the championship leader. He takes a big lead now in the championship. 46 points. Based off of my very quick mental calculation. That is not confirmed. Chris van der Nessa in the Send It Sim Racing BMW rounds off the podium. Bob Humphrey started P10, finishes P4. Great performance for him. Tom Bingham in the Performance Link car. P5, starting P8. Kevin Copeland in the 3rd of the Evo SR cars. A very good race for them in 6th position. Trevor Humphrey made up 7 places. Great race for him. P7. Shane Piggott, he had a couple of mistakes, but still comes home with a few points in P8. Tim Darracott started 9th, finished 9th. Sebastian Hagegi, the final beneficiary of that point. Pretty remarkable for him, given the lap 1 incident. And the rest of the field, Hamish Hagegi, Joseph Saul, Adam Shepherd, James Salt, and Aaron Rose. There will now be a break in the stream. We'll be back for race 2 shortly. we begin race 2, a very quick thank you to everyone who has been supplying music for our interludes. Special thank you to Bunny, Slums, Mackenzie, Chris N for giving us some fantastic music for these interim periods between the races, before the stream, and of course towards the end as well. Just wanted to get that out there real quick. We're currently going through the warm-up session before race 2 of round 4 of the Road to Motegi Championship. Everyone's just getting themselves reacquainted with the Suzuka circuit. Fantastic race 1. I did some more mental calculations during the break, and I had a very quick chat with the organisers to see what they thought of Adam Shepherd's gamesmanship. We were all very impressed. That won't be allowed in round 5 in Motegi. Not too surprising, perhaps, but that won't be allowed from the next and final round. However, his result will stand from race 1, so he will be starting in P3 for this round. P1 on pole will, of course, be Aaron Rose. He is not, however, in the session. He has 3 minutes to make it in. And should he make it back in time, he will be on the front row alongside James Salt, who had a bad crash. Ended up further back, though, as he did not rejoin the race. So he finds himself second on the grid. Third on the grid will be Adam Shepherd, who gamed the system, has to be said. He really gamed the system, so he's going to find himself in a fantastic position on the grid. And then the rest of the field filters down in reverse grid order from race 1. So, should we get some on-track action just while everyone is getting themselves warmed up? I mean, it's what a warm-up session is for, right? That's what it is, isn't it? Get everything back up on screen. Here we go. It's more like it. Evo SR cars here, getting some nice on-screen time. Kevin Copeland, James Salt. Good to see Salt back. Hate the fact that his car number's changed. He was the number 2, now he's the number 8. Aaron Powell was the 7, now he's the 13. Adam Shepherd was the 17, is still the 17. I appreciate that, thank you. Special thank you to everyone who has kept themselves some consistent car numbers. I know it's not a huge deal, but it means a lot to me. Aaron Rose, by the way, has joined the session, so he will be starting on pole position for this race, race 2 of round 4 of this series. It's been a really good series so far. Really enjoyed it. Important to note, by the way, of course, that after his second place finish, Lewis Rose does have a 46-point lead at the top of the championship. If Lewis Rose scores 5 more points here than Aaron Rose, he mathematically wins the championship. He does also have to beat Chris van der Nesse by a significant margin as well. The gap back to him was large at the end of round 3. In fact, whilst I'm talking about it, I'll bring it up on screen. This was after round 3. We have had one race today here, round 4 Suzuka. But Lewis Rose was 28 points ahead of Aaron Rose. And 56 ahead of Chris van der Nesse. He got another 3 on van der Nesse to bring that up to 59. And he got 18 on Aaron Rose to bring that up to 46. I'm actually going to write this down. That's how serious I am about this. I'm a man who takes his craft seriously. I need some paper. I'm a man who takes his craft seriously, but I don't pre-prepare paper. Don't be silly. Just noting this down, in case we do end up crowning a champion here this evening. Apologies for that noise. Just had to make sure that was all in order. Right, it's race time. 46-point lead Lewis Rose has over Aaron Rose, who will be starting this race in pole position. Please give me the car. Where is he? There he is. Found him. As always, my timing screen decides to break. So, Lewis Rose, starting from 14th on the grid, he has a chance to win the championship in the next 25 minutes. Provisionally. Pending anything else from race control. We don't know yet. I don't think he's done anything wrong, but you never know. We're going to go onto the gearbox of Aaron Rose as he leads the cars away here. Race 2 of round 4 here at Suzuka. Alongside him is James Salt, Adam Shepherd and Joseph Saul. The Hagegi brothers make up row 3. Tim Darricott and Shane Piggott, row 4. Trevor Humphrey and Kevin Copeland, row 5. Tom Bingham, Bob Humphrey, Chris van der Nessa, Lewis Rose and Aaron Powell round off the grid. Your main championship contenders, Lewis Rose, Aaron Rose and Chris van der Nessa all start at very different places, and that is Aaron Rose making a great getaway here. Immediately bolting it from the start. Adam Shepherd has followed in behind, and they have very quickly gotten into single file. Hamish Agagi has been having connection issues. I can only apologise for that. And powerless to stop it. The standings in the top left of your screen are incorrect. We will remove those for this first lap. And you will see the on-track action! Aaron Rose is off the track! He's not had a major incident this time. Now he has. Now he has. Yeah, they're coming together there with Adam Shepherd. Adam Shepherd dived on the inside there at turn 2. He caught the grass a little bit of net code, bit of a collision, found himself off the track, and into Hamish Hagegi. And into Hagegi again. To his credit, he kept the car going. He's off again. He's in P13 though. That's not good for his championship chances. This is your leader, Adam Shepherd. Important to note that at this point, Rose needs 5 more points than Aaron Rose. And he just needs to finish ahead of Chris van der Nessa. He is 2 points behind Chris van der Nessa at the moment. Here is the aforementioned Dutchman in 8th place. Lewis Rose a couple of places back in 10th. Hamish Agagi, by the way, I believe is on the pit lane. Yep, he's on pit lane at the moment. Bit of a laggy connection, so it's difficult to see where he is, but he is on pit road after that incident. He's towed himself back immediately. Adam Shepherd then. Still going strong here. Into 130R. Started this race, P3. Immediately has gotten himself up into the lead. The tactic's working, mate. The tactic's actually working. That's the bit I'm stunned about. But here we come then. Adam Shepherd's going to come across the line to end the first lap. Lap 1 of approximately 12. I'm going to assume it's 12. 11 and a half. That's 12. He's got a half-second lead over James Salt in the first of the Evo SR cars. James Salt here. He had a good race 1 up until the crash, so we know he definitely has some pace in him. Coming through the S's, chasing the ME7 liveried Adam Shepherd. The track's still dusty. The track is still awfully dusty. And you can see some of that being kicked up offline, so it's important for the cars to stay online through these S's, which is why you'll see them so often in single file. But here, James Salt is really going for the aggressive line. He's going to be looking for a chance coming down towards the Degners. We'll have a look back here because this is a massive battle. Trevor Humphrey at the front end of this train through the Degner curves. That's Chris van der Nessa just behind. Another train just ahead, headed by Sebastian Hagegi back to Kevin Copeland. A lot of cars close on circuit at the moment. Aaron Rose is still in P13. He is outside of the points as it stands. Van der Nessa goes for the inside on Trevor Humphrey, but Humphrey is going to have the inside line coming towards the spoon curves. Oh, they're going to have to lift here, surely. That's going to give Bob Humphrey a chance to attack. Van der Nessa is not relenting. Oh, he's hit the rear of Trevor Humphrey. Humphrey's done fantastically well to keep that one going. He's running wide as a result of being on the AstroTurf. We'll have a quick look at that and see what happened. It just looked a little bit... Yeah, it looked like there was... We'll have another look from the rear. Was there contact? Oh, that looks like netcode to me. You don't hear any contact. You don't see any physical damage on the car. Go back to live footage now. Aaron Rose passes. That is an important move for Aaron Rose up into 12th position. It doesn't look like Humphrey has any damage. I think that was just a very unlucky incident there. Here is the front of this train. Lewis Rose at present gets 2 points. It won't be enough for him to win the championship right now. Van der Nessa currently looking at 6 points. It would mean if results stay as it is, he's out of the championship. This man doesn't care. He's winning. He lost. He gave up a point to try and win 25, and for Adam Shepherd, it's not looking like a bad shout at the moment. He's currently leading by 0.2 of a second to James Salt in the leading Evo SR car. Sebastian Hagegi is on a charge though. He is really catching up to these two. Half a second quicker than the two cars in front of him on the last lap. We know he's quick. He had a bad race 1. It lasted about 4/5 of a lap. But now, race 2, he's got a chance of redemption. He did get a point last race. It wasn't pointless. It was literally a point there. Hamish Hagegi, by the way, back out on circuit now, down in P15. Aaron Rose, the other championship contender, is stuck behind the performance-linked BMW of Tom Bingham currently. He desperately needs to get back into the points to have a reasonable chance of taking this road to Motegi. James Salt just behind Adam Shepherd. There's a little battle going on back here. Tim Darracott looking on the inside of a 130R. Oh, he's slotted in behind. Very conservative, very sensible there from Tim Darracott. He knows he's in a good position at the moment, doesn't want to lose it. The brakes at the same time coming into the chicane. Very close behind, down to second gear. I keep saying the hairpin's the tightest call it. It might be that. It's very close between them. Very close. But they're beginning now, lap 4. Darracott is going to be reeling him in. Oh, he's dived on the inside as well. That is a good pass there from Tim Darracott in the Motorsport Maker BMW. I'll be honest, I did not see that one coming. I went back to the TV camera out of hope rather than expectation, but he takes P4. Joseph Saul's down to 5th, but still holding on very strong. Look at this, a few cars back though. Lewis Rose has gotten past Chris Van der Nessa. That has huge championship implications. Lewis Rose now gets 4 points as it stands. Van der Nessa fighting here with Aaron Powell, race 1 winner and race 1 podium finisher. Battling out for 2 points currently. It's a reverse grid race. What are you going to do? Battle of the front, however, is incredibly close. Look at that. James Salt right on the rear bumper of Adam Shepherd. This is Sebastian Hagegi just ahead, just behind, sorry, the group at the moment. The gearbox here of Adam Shepherd looking back towards that Evo SR front grille. The black and green liveried car with a Kamoa popping in and out of frame. It's a good exit there from Salt. Getting himself prepared. He's trying to spice things up a bit. Shaking up the race, the series. Some additional seasoning. I'll stop, I'm sorry. Here they're coming to the chicane. Still single file here for the top three. All within a second of each other though. That's Shepherd, that's Salt, that is Sebastian Hagegi. The gap back to Tim Darracott is another 5 seconds. It was 6, so that's Darracott's bringing that down quickly. We have to keep an eye on this man though. This is for the championship here. Lewis Rose, if he gets 7th here, and you know what? Aaron Rose has dropped off of Tom Bingham. He's 4 seconds back. Is the car damage from the lap 1 incident still affecting him? I'd say probably. I mean, you know, aero damage on this is a hell of a thing. It really is. This is bad news though for the Martini liveried Aaron. Lewis might win the War of the Roses after all. It had to come up today, it had to. This is James Salt though, harassing the leader still through the Degner curves. He's not got off that rear bumper all race. They go under the bridge now, coming up towards the hairpin. Oh, there's been a big incident! There's been a big incident! What's happened here? Lewis Rose! He's gone off! He's gone off! What's happened here? We go back. This is him fighting with Kevin Copeland, I believe, through the S's. Oh, there's been an accident up ahead, and then Aaron Powell's hit him. Oh no! He's hit the rear as well. He's lost his rear wing. How is the car? Is the car still going? The car's still going. Oh, that is a demolished BMW. Lewis Rose down in 13th position. Hamish Hagegi's behind him, but he's over a lap down now. Oh, the championship is still open. It's still mathematically open. I wrote it down and everything. I didn't need to, did I? Through all of that, by the way, this is happening. Into the chicane, Van der Ness around the outside of Joseph Saul. They keep it on track and they keep it clean. Fantastic racing here from these three. Aaron Powell as well right behind. This is the battle for 5th place as they begin lap 6. Van der Ness on the outside. Aaron Powell in his slipstream now. Van der Ness is going to go for a move around the outside of turn 1. He's made it stick, you know. Van der Ness has sent it! Oh, but Joseph Saul sent it as well! Spun him in turn 2! Absolute disaster for Van der Ness. We'll watch that again from on board. Van der Ness, he's made the move stick around the outside. He's on the curb. Joseph Saul's gone for the optimistic and he's just clipped him and sent him round. And that, I think, is Van der Ness down in 13th, out to the championship now. He was on to keep it going, but Joseph Saul went for a move that I don't think was really going to come off. A man is going to be quite happy that this is happening though. Aaron Rose, he's up to 8th. As it stands, he brings the gap down to 42 points. Hey, there's a chance. As Joseph Saul behind him, he's been moved down to 9th as a result of that incident with Van der Ness. We should check in on the front 3 though, shouldn't we? That's still going on. Are they still single file really close together? Yes they are. Yeah, they're all within a second of each other. Coming towards 130R once again. We're gonna have a quick look at this man here. A little bit lonely, I imagine Tim Darracott is at the moment. A 6-second cushion either side of him as he rides in 4th position. Plenty of time for that to change, although his last few laps have been slower than the cars in front and quicker than the cars behind. He might be lonely for a while. But we'll give him his airtime now, just to show, Tim, we haven't forgot you. Back to the action. Here is Adam Shepherd, James Salt, Sebastian Hagegi still duking out for the lead. Tim Darracott still wants to get in the picture. They come down towards turn 1, beginning lap 7 of 12. It will be 12. 11.4 is 12. I think we know this by now, don't we? Really? I think we do. There's a good bout going on for 5th, however, as they're coming down towards turn 1. That is Aaron Rose on the inside of Joseph Saul. Saul was trying to make another move there. He's not gone for the inside that time. Lewis Rose, by the way, has lost a lot of straight line speed. He's down to 13th. That is Hamish Agegi, who has caught up to the back of him to unlap himself. And the championship leader, I don't think he's going to be getting any points this time. That's Chris van der Nessa, who's got back in front of him in 12th position. And the only championship contender currently in the points is this man, Aaron Rose, in P8. This is very much becoming a race of attrition, more than anything. Reverse grid race, it always throws up chaos, doesn't it? It always does. Aaron Rose a little bit wide, but a bit cheeky. See how this is still going? Single file, 3 cars within a second. Yeah, looks like it. James Saul, I'm going to hazard a guess that he's just biding his time, waiting for a mistake. Oh, Adam Shepherd running a little bit wide there, has to be said. A little bit wide out, spoon curve coming up towards 130R. How brave is James Salt feeling here? The number 8, the Evo SR car. Going to go for a move into the chicane though. There's still a chance. Not this time. Sebastian Agegi's kept it on the track. He hasn't speared off. It wasn't his fault. He just ran wide in the first race. It wasn't his fault, honestly. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Tom Bingham, by the way, is up here in P6. And look who's in P7. Aaron Rose has benefited from a mistake by, I believe it was... Oh, Kevin Copeland. Kevin Copeland's got a bit of a damaged car. What happened here? Oh, not back far enough, apparently. We'll have a look here. Kevin Copeland. Oh, he just hit the grass. He just clipped the grass. Oh, and then... I don't know if Aaron Rose hit him or not. But he just clipped the grass there. Going through Spoon, coming into Spoon Curve. And he finds himself now down in P11. Aaron Rose is promoted to 7th place and 6 points. We're only on lap 12. There's still 5 laps to go. A lot can happen yet. Stay tuned. Do not change the channel. I know we're on YouTube, but don't change the channel. Because look at this battle at the front that's still going on. Adam Shepherd, James Salt, Sebastian Higegi. They're now within half a second of each other. Oh, that didn't come up right. Sorry. We're going to be going on board with James Salt as he harasses the back of Adam Shepherd. He's going for a move on the inside. Oh, he's backed out of it though. He's backed out of it. Shepherd's run wide again. He keeps running wide onto Spoon Car. You've got to remember, there is an instant limit. You have to be careful or you will get a drive-through. Lewis Rose, by the way, has come into the pit lane. I think he's realised that car is badly damaged. He's looking to get a rear wing reattached. But this is the battle for the lead. Adam Shepherd. James Salt right behind him. Salt was lucky there not to run off. He was on the grass coming to the entry of 130R. Makes a move down the left side into the chicane. And Sebastian Hagegi's looking really racy as well. Very close as they come around the final corner to begin lap 9. Oh my goodness, look how close to the wall they are. Adam Shepherd defending the inside line. James Salt, oh my god, I thought they were going to crash. Round the outside of turn 1. He's going to try for it. He's still there outside of turn 1. They're still side by side. And now they filter back into single file. Single file once again through the S's section. Just take a look at the rear bumper of Adam Shepherd. Oh wow, that was scary. Oh, I thought I was going to die there for a second. Sorry. Oh, Adam Shepherd's on the inside. Oh, he's been clipped. He's been clipped. He's gone round. He's gone round. Adam Shepherd has gone round. Sebastian Hagegi's taken the lead. Have to take a look here from a TV angle. Salt dove on the inside. He really dove for that one. Hagegi then clipped the back of him. And Adam Shepherd, he is still third. He's still third. And this man's back in the picture once again. It's Tim Darricott, but the lead is still, it's half a second here between a damaged Sebastian Hagegi and the Evo SR of James Salt. Adam Shepherd, lost for words at this point, I really am. This is Aaron Powell in 5th place, by the way. Just behind him is Tom Bingham in the Performance Link BMW. He's had a great weekend, by the way. He was 5th in race 1. 5th in race 1. He's now 6th in race 2. Oh, we got the standings back. Oh, that's nice, thank you. I'm glad that's working. Lewis Rose, by the way, still in the pit lane. Still getting his car fixed up. Hamish Hagegi, the last time I saw him, was in the pit lane as well. James Salt has gotten ahead of Sebastian Hagegi, by the way. I want to see how that happened. Coming on the exit of the Spoon Curve. This must have been on the entry to 130R. Hagegi with a damaged front aero after his collision with Adam Shepherd. Yep. Salt clean around the outside. Easy as you like before they even hit 130R. And now into turn 1, James Salt is going to try and stretch those legs as far as he can. This is Adam Shepherd, by the way. His car is relatively unscathed. I reckon with 3 laps to go and the damage that Sebastian Hagegi has got on his car, there is a chance he can catch back up. We'll see if they get close towards the end of the race. This is a close battle at the moment. Bob Humphrey, I believe, has just got past Joseph Saul here. Evo SR car and the B Team Evo SR car fighting for position. That's Shane Piggott just behind. It's about for 8th place. 4 championship points are on offer here. An update on the other championship contenders. Lewis Rose is still in the pit lane in last, and Chris van der Nessa is a few seconds behind this battle, by the way. We'll pan to him. Here he is. 11th place. But he does need to score 9 points to remain in with a mathematical chance. Just a shame that that incident happened. This is the battle for the lead, by the way. James Salt not stretching his legs as much as I thought he was going to. Still just under a second, the gap to Sebastian Hagegi as they come through the Spoon Curves. And I do believe we have a car back out on track. Lewis Rose has got his car fixed. They found a rear spoiler in the back of the garage. And he's headed out once again to get some more laps in. I don't think there's a point for fastest lap, so he's out there just to rack up the miles. And Joseph Saul has got back ahead of Bob Humphrey in the battle for 8th place. Shane Pickett's dropped off a little bit. Now this is Saul and Humphrey coming up towards the 130R. Humphrey on the grass. Really looking for a moment, pushing, not literally, but pushing for a space to try and make a move. They're late on the brakes coming into the chicane. Clean as you like through the final corner to begin lap 11 for these two. A little bit further ahead, James Salt's pulled up a 1.8 second gap now to Sebastian Hagegi. This man in second place, that front aero is definitely slowing him down. Adam Shepherd is only a few seconds back as well. The gap currently reads 4.6. 4.6, see, I said. Tim Darricott is still in 4th place. Aaron Powell is closing in, but not at a rate of knots. Tom Bingham is a couple of seconds back here. And Aaron Rose is going to be looking for that place to try and get past Tom Bingham to close the gap more in the championship. He would have been expecting a really good race here, starting from pole position. But lap 1 incidents. What can you do? They come through the Degner curves. Currently on course for 6 points. Whilst Tom Bingham would get him 8. Close the gap down to 38 points going to Motegi. This is your leader at the moment, though, James Salt. Sebastian Hagegi closing in a little bit, trying to make up some time, but inevitably he will be losing some time now on the run towards the 130R. Adam Shepherd will be looking to reel this gap in. His car looks relatively unscathed. Surprising for all the spins he's had. It was one incident, but there were a lot of rotations in that spin. There's a lot going on there, has to be said. Tim Darricott here as well, just behind him, through the 130R. The gap now down to 4.3 seconds. James Salt is about to come across the line to begin his final lap. Aaron Rose, aggressive. Well, what's happened here then? Apologies, I appear to have completely missed an incident here. Joseph Saul went off earlier. Bob Humphrey as well had an incident. Similarly, they now find themselves outside of the points, promoting Chris van der Nessa up to 9th. Joseph Saul and Bob Humphrey having to get together. We couldn't find it on the tape. Coming through the S's for the last time is James Salt. Sebastian Hagegi, to his credit, has done really well to keep the gap as low as he has. Aaron Rose is still battling Tom Bingham here for 6th place for crucial championship points. Lewis Rose, by the way, has returned to pit lane, so has Hamish Hagegi. Through the Degner curves they come for the last time. It's still just a few tenths of a second between these two cars. Tom Bingham looking for one of his best weekends this season. Aaron Rose looking to stay in the championship fight as best as he can going into Motegi. If he holds this position, I mean, Lewis Rose isn't scoring points here, so he will stay in the fight regardless, just as many points as he can get here to put as much pressure as he can now on the cars ahead. We go back to our leader very briefly. Well, not very briefly. We'll see him across the line. He comes through up towards the 130R for the final time. That in the background is Adam Shepherd, 3.5 seconds back now from Hagegi. He's going to take a mistake here and to catch up. No mistake there. James Salt then, coming through the chicane for the final time. He crashed out in race 1, found himself second on the grid for race 2, and has converted that front row start into a race win here. Round 4, race 2 of the Road to Motegi Championship. Flashes his lights as he comes across the line. Sebastian Hagegi is going to come across the line in 2nd place. Adam Shepherd, he does get a podium out of it. He ends up 3rd. Tim Darricott in the Motorsport Maker BMW is in 4th. Aaron Powell in the 2nd of the Evo SR cars is in 5th. Tom Bingham's going to hold off Aaron Rose and finish in 6th and 7th respectively. Chris van der Nessa has managed to pass Shane Piggott on the last lap. And the two more Evo SR cars there getting a bit feisty in the background in the battle for the final points paying position. Kevin Copeland got it in the end by 0.02 seconds to Bob Humphrey, who finishes 11th. Joseph Saul comes across the line after an incident-packed race to spin it at the end and bid it into the barrier in 12th place. This is Trevor Humphrey, who will be the last finisher on the lead lap in P13. Another action-packed race here in the Road to Motegi Championship, and we find ourselves on the final step now on the Road to Motegi itself. Here are the full results. James Salt again is your race 2 round 4 winner. Started P2, ended P1. Sebastian Hagegi from 6th. He got a point in the first race. He got 18 in race 2. Adam Shepherd started P3 after his little bit of genius tactics at the end of race 1. He ends up finishing P3. Tim Darricott goes up from 7th to 4th. Aaron Powell started last, worked his way up to 5th. Very clean racing from him. Tom Bingham is in P6. Aaron Rose, your pole position man, finishes 7th but gains valuable championship points to keep it alive as we go to the final round in Motegi. 8th place is Chris van der Nessa, who is now eliminated from championship contention. Kevin Copeland is in 9th. 10th, Bob Humphrey. And the rest of your runners, Joseph Saul, Trevor Humphrey, Shane Pigott, Hamish Agagi, and Lewis Rose, classified last. Didn't expect to be saying that. Has to be said. I really wasn't expecting that to be how we ended the race here this evening, but it was an incident-packed race. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to go back real quick and have a look at some of the earlier incidents, if we can catch them on here. In race 2, just having a look for some of the incidents. I'm going to go back to Lewis Rose. There's a lot of incidents at the start, of course. Very, very busy at the start. Up ahead of Lewis Rose here, who is in the running at the moment, who was in the running at that point to end the championship there. An incident towards the start. There's Aaron Rose back here. This was lap 1, turn 2. Adam Shepherd got himself ahead of Aaron Rose. Then Rose found himself on the grass, drifting across the track. Wasn't able to get back on safely, collided with Hamish Agagi. And that put him well down the field, but he managed to come back, get some points at the end, keep himself in the championship fight. So a lot of incidents going on as well. Just trying to find the incident that had Lewis Rose coming off the track and out of the race, essentially. This is Lewis Rose coming up through the field. I'm hoping iRacing will keep the session open long enough for us to actually take a look at this. Wasn't this lap? Wasn't it the next lap? We'll find it. Believe you me, we will find it. Because this was one of the major incidents that is going to help decide this championship. If Lewis Rose ends up losing this championship as a result of this race 2 incident, there it is. That's what happened. One of the Evo SR cars went off. Aaron Powell did collide with him as he tried to race through. Lewis Rose just got dumped into the barriers. Take another look here from a different angle. See the cars coming through the S's, relatively clean. I say relatively clean, it's completely clean at this point, to be fair. Then the Evo SR car at the front of this train, I believe that's the 36 of Bob Humphrey, just spun round, clipped one of the B team cars. Aaron Powell caught him, and then it was all the way over to that side of the track. But another look here from the gearbox. Another look here from the gearbox of the Pertec 81. I believe this is the 81. Yeah, it is. Aaron Powell was unsighted by the Send It Sim Racing car of Chris van der Nessa. And that, as far as everyone was concerned, was race over for him. A shame that it had to end that way. I've been asked to look as well at lap 9 when Adam Shepherd was taken out from the lead. This was a dive from James Saul, clipped Adam Shepherd, and then Sebastian Agagi got into the back of him as well. wonders of technology. We can, of course, have a look at this from another angle. Yeah, Saul very much looking for a line that arguably wasn't there. Motegi, bit of an innocent bystander in it, really. There wasn't a huge amount he could do. Got bored with him real quick just to see how he saw it. See him on the inside there, and then yeah, he's just kept his foot in it. Watch the full incident here from this angle. Yeah, Saul's gone for a move there, and then Motegi wasn't expecting the move around. That really was all she wrote. So provisional standings, James Salt is your winner, Sebastian Motegi second, Adam Shepherd third, Darracott fourth, Aaron Powell fifth, Tom Bingham sixth, Aaron Rose in seventh to secure himself 6 championship points to bring the gap down to 40 and keep the championship alive, going to Motegi round 5 next week. Chris van der Nessa is in 8th place, Kevin Copeland 9th, Bob Humphrey 10th, Joseph Saul 11th, Trevor Humphrey 12th, Piggott's 13th, Hamish Motegi in 14th, and Lewis Rose, your championship leader, going into round 5, is in P15. Oh, well, Suzuka has definitely given us a lot of action, as has, let's be honest, every single track, race, round so far in this series. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I believe that is all the action that we have for this evening. I've been Jack Mace. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the Performance Link Road to Motegi Championship. The next round next week is the season finale at the Motegi Full Course. Round 5, races 1 and 2, same time next week, the 22nd of July at 8:30 British Standard Time. We will be back for the final round. Will Lewis Rose be able to secure the championship, or is his brother going to pull off one of the truly great sim racing comebacks to snatch it from under his nose? There's only one way to find out. That's by tuning in next week. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back next week. The final round, Motegi. The road to Motegi, it's almost complete. We're almost done. Thank you all for watching. And have a very, very good evening.